Hey, how are you doing? Tony Purcell here, and I'm actually just sitting here hanging out with my family and with my boy Lincoln. There he is. Lincoln, say hi.
Hi.
I just wanted to introduce him real quick because I'm actually going to tell a story about him, and I'm going to get up and walk to the other room because he's playing a game on the cell phone. I want you to be able to hear this video. But I wanted to share a story that happened, just a few minutes ago. I was going to the bathroom, and he wanted to come in because he had left his toys in there. And he starts knocking on the door, and I told him, not right now. I told him a couple minutes, and he just started crying. He just fell on the ground and started bawling. I could hear him outside the door just screaming because he wanted to get his cars, and he had left them in there. And my initial reaction was just to kind of roll my eyes a little bit, and I was just like, oh, come on, throwing such a fit. And I think most people react to children in general that way. They just think, man, you're throwing such a fit. How could you be such a baby? Why are you crying? You're so spoiled. It's going to take you a couple more minutes. You've got tons of other toys. But instead of doing that, that was my initial reaction. But I took some time to really think about it. And as I thought about what was really upsetting him, I thought that he probably, in his mind, had a very specific plan. He had it very specifically planned out. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. In his mind, he knew that he wanted to go and play cars. And so he was going to go and get his cars, and he was going to go and play with his cars. So he had this whole plan mapped out in his head, and then something unexpected happened and, stopped the whole plan. And he couldn't move forward with his plan and what he had wanted to do because of this one little thing. And that really frustrated him and really upsetted him. It really upset him. And, as I thought about that, I thought, how often do we do that as adults? And it's so funny how often we judge children and get after them. And really, I think one of the reasons why we judge them so harshly is because we see ourselves doing the exact same thing. And it's kind of a reflection of us, so that's why it bugs us. But how often do we as adults have in our mind an idea of how things are supposed to be and how we want life to be, and it doesn't go the exact way that we planned it going, or maybe there's just a delay in the plan. Maybe it's, for him it was a 2 to 5 minute delay. Maybe for us, it's a week or a couple month delay, and yet some little step in the plan, somehow life doesn't work out the exact way that we plan it to, and we just throw this huge fit. And maybe we don't fall on the ground and kick and scream because we're adults and we've kind of learned to behave better, but emotionally we throw that same level of a fit. We just get all depressed, we get down, we're so angry, we're just in a bad mood, taking it out on other people because life didn't go the exact way that we planned it to. Now, as my boy was crying and kicking the door, what I said to him was, it's still going to be the exact same amount of time until I open the door, whether you cry or whether you don't cry. And so you can choose to be happy right now or be upset right now. It's your choice, and you can actually be happy or upset. And that's the advice I have for you as well in your life. You can choose to do whatever in your life. You can choose your life you can choose to feel however you want to feel, regardless of the situation. Even when you have a specific plan, you have your exact idea of how you think life is supposed to happen, and it doesn't happen that way, you can still be happy, and you can still enjoy life. And sometimes it's just a matter of time. It's still going to happen the exact way you wanted, but maybe not in the exact time you wanted. Sometimes it requires a little bit of patience, and sometimes it requires a little bit of you just being willing to accept the moment and being able to still be in a good mood. And then the second thing is that one thing that's slightly different with us as adults is we generally have a lot more control over our life. And when there's a door that's closed on us, then we usually have actually the ability to open it. It just comes unexpected. We don't imagine it being that way. We don't imagine that obstacle coming. And so when life doesn't turn out the exact way we plan, we just go and throw a fit. When instead, if we were to just take a little bit of time, and instead of just throwing a fit and being upset, actually think about the situation and think about what's really upsetting us and refocus on what it is that we want, and then ask, how can I go and get what I want? That changes the whole situation. That is such a different scenario when you're able to think that way and have that kind of thought process. And then you actually have the ability and the power to go and create the life that you want to. I always talk about this, and in all of in my videos, I mean, I'm going to probably mention this in some way, that you have the ability to create your life. And what stops you, the only thing stopping you, is yourself. And this is one of those ways in which we stop ourselves. When things don't go the exact way we want, we immediately turn and focus on all the negativity, which just attracts more negativity, instead of controlling our emotions, not getting into the negativity, still focusing on the positive, still focusing on what we want, and focusing on how to get to what it is that we want to get. So just want to share that today. And again, as always, the invitation to come join the Prosperity Team, because you are capable of creating whatever life you want. And if life isn't the exact way you want it to be, learn how to unlock your potential and create the life that you want. And that's what the Prosperity Team does for you. So below this video, there's a link. I mean, just join us. You know, your time is now. So just come and join us, and I'll talk to you.